Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is Video Game Losers episode 10. Woo! We're a dime bag now. How is that? It's great. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. As always, I am your co-host Dirt, along with co-host
Killing.
And we're here to talk about video game news, video game releases, and answering some of your questions and comments in the fan corner. And make fun of people sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like Scotty Cash.
Oh,
That guy is a handful.
he is a handicapped. Okay.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk about some video game news this week. First up, we talked before a couple weeks ago about how the 3DS was outselling the original DS, and now it is official. After one full year on sale, the 3DS has hit 4.5 million units sold. That is higher than what the original DS did. It's the first anniversary of DS was 2.3 million units. So this is now 4.5 million units. So that's pretty good deal. Now the one problem, of course, is that Nintendo is still set to lose. Was it like 30? Let's see. It's their first loss in 30 years this year. It's a loss of $620 million. So they're going to lose $620 million this year, even though the 3DS is selling well. Part of that, I'm sure, has to do with the price cut that they gave it.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little weird. Like, how do you know you're going to lose money and all of a sudden you outsell what you think you're going to sell and you're still like, yeah, we're still losing. Like, hey, maybe you should cut back a little bit.
Conversion rates.
Stop spending money.
Conversion, the yen, the dollar. And then there's all those Godzilla attacks where they have to rebuild, their offices every time. It's like, every 6 months or 9 months, a giant monster comes through and smashes the city, and then they got to rebuild.
Oh, and some executives need some bonuses. You need a couple million here, a couple million there.
Change. That goes without saying. No, wait. No, that's just American companies that do that.
Oh.
Right? Because it's Wall Street. It's just the U.S. companies. No other giant multinational corporations anywhere else in the world do that. Just the greedy Americans.
Occupy Nintendo.
That's right. All right. Other news. Marvel executive T.Q. Jefferson gave an interview to the Hollywood Reporter this week. He was talking about crossing over the Avengers into the video game realm, and among the things that he discussed, he talked that Marvel is now working more closely with Disney Interactive, which makes sense because Disney now owns Marvel. But one of the other things he mentioned is that there are no more games coming out from Sega. Now, Sega, the last few years, they did Iron Man, Iron Man 2, they did Thor, they did Captain America First Avenger. They did some of those really big, high-profile games. Games that critically seem to get 50, 60%. But from the fan base, when you go on Metacritic or some of these other places, fans tend to give them 70 to 80%.
Yeah, they suck.
But the fans like them. So regardless, though, Sega is now out, so if you did enjoy any of those games, well, then it looks like you're out of luck. Now, he did mention that they are still working with Activision on some upcoming titles, so you can still look forward to some of that stuff. But as far as Sega goes, it looks like they are out the window. So, sucks to be Sega.
Sucks to be Sega for many, many years now.
Yeah, once they come out with Dreamcast 2, man, then it's all right.
Yeah.
Then it's all right.
They should just whop out a new system and just confuse the marketplace and really cause issues.
Call it the Saturn 480.
Just totally ruin everybody.
Be like, what is this thing? It's the Sega Nomad 2, but this time it actually hooks up to your TV. That'd throw everybody off. All right. Ubisoft has apparently shooken up the development team of the Rainbow Six Patriots game. Now, you've played some of the Rainbow Six games, right?
Oh, no. Yes.
I know you played like Vegas and...
I played Vegas. It was a little hard, so I was like, eh.
Well, the upcoming game Patriots is actually set with domestic terrorists. And that's why it falls under the banner of Patriots. It's set in this future where instead of being on the side of the army, you're on the side of the people causing the chaos, trying to bring down the government. And apparently it's been just kind of too controversial and too dark. Without any information coming out yet about the game, the people inside the company have been uncomfortable with it. They released the head designer, I believe it was, and replaced a bunch of the people on the team.
I love it already.
Creative director, that's who it is, David Sears. Now, one of the things is it brings up in the game is that on certain missions, in order to complete the mission, you have to kill innocent civilians in order to get, your objective taken care of. So there are innocent people in the way. Well, too bad. It's, collateral damage because you got to get the mission done. And some of these, moral gray areas, I guess you would call them, have just proven to be a little too much for the company. They're a little unhappy with the way it's coming through, and they shook up development.
Man, come on now. I've been waiting for a game like that. Don't get all soft.
Now, the guy who they did bring in, Jean-Sébastien Decant, who's been brought in to take over the role of creative director. He was the creative director for Driver San Francisco and the narrative director for Far Cry 3. Which I didn't realize there was a Far Cry 3. I played 2. I think I have 2 on my PS3 right now.
Whatever.
But
hey, check out the Far Cry movie. Awesome.
They made a Far Cry movie? Mm-hmm. Oh, was that an Uwe Boll?
Yes.
Oh, right. Right, I remember seeing that. Someone traded that in here, didn't they?
Yeah, super awesome.
Yeah, super awesome.
Super awesome.
Was it better than House of the Dead 2?
Yeah, I don't know. That's debatable.
I still think House of the Dead 1 is kind of a misunderstood masterpiece of modern cinema. I bought that on UMD for the PSP. That way, if I want to watch it, I actually plug it in using the converter cables to the TV and watch it off the UMD. Because I figure that's probably the best way to watch House of the Dead 2 is on UMD.
Keeping the UMDs alive, this guy.
Hey, they put Tron on UMD. I mean, that's all you gotta say. Like, it's a winning format right there. I also have Tron on video disc. So there you go. All right. We had the 14th Annual Independent Games Festival. Handed out a bunch of awards. I'm going to name the games that won these awards. I'm going to see how many of them you've played, okay?
Okay.
And then, at the same time, also how many you've heard of, okay?
Okay.
All right, so, Excellence in Visual Art. The winner was Dear Esther.
Okay, we talked about that one.
We've talked about that one on this show, okay? In Technical Excellence, Antichamber.
No idea.
For Excellence in Design is Spelunky.
No idea.
For Excellence in Audio, it is Botanicula.
No idea.
Best Mobile Game is Beat Sneak Bandit.
Never heard of it.
The Nuovu Award, designed to honor abstract, short form, and unconventional game development, goes to Storyteller.
Nope.
The Seamus McNally Grand Prize goes to Fez.
Yeah, no.
I want to know, how did the Seamus McNally Grand Prize go to a character from that 70s show?
I don't really get it. Like, I didn't even heard of this award place, and I never heard of these games, so I'm pretty sure this doesn't even exist. Like, some guy was just needed to write an article.
Well, like,
he just made up some stuff.
Proteus got a mention. I've heard of that game. Or got a nomination. Let's see. There was another one on there. Realm of the Mad God. I've played that one. But I mean, a bunch of these, yeah.
Yeah, none.
I don't know.
No idea.
Now, these are independent games, so these are games that are going to be harder to find, and I guess you just have to search out some of these things. But I mean, really, unless these games show up in something like the Humble Bundle, I don't know really how I'm going to come across these. Most of these. I mean, they're every day. There's so many games, you know. There's so many random things that come out from so many different companies that it's hard to keep track. Because really, to create a game, you know, it's not like it just pops up on the PlayStation 3 and becomes a commercial release. I mean, a lot of people make games that they just sell through their website, you know. They don't always have a real distribution channel. So that makes it a little difficult. But, I mean, some of these, you know, after reading about them and kind of looking into them, I kind of want to check them out. You know, so the idea of giving out awards as a way to get you interested to check them out. Seems to make sense.
I think they should include like demos in every link, just so you know what you're talking about, or at least you can't do this in video. You gotta or in text, you gotta do a video about the awards and then show us the gameplay footage and then tell us it won. Then I'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool looking.
Well, like in Excellence in Audio, one of the games that got nominated, or actually got an honorable mention, was a game called Where Is My Heart? Now that game is actually on the PlayStation Network. It's a mini that you can play on the PS3 or download to your PSP. And so it was free for PlayStation Plus members. So I actually have downloaded that one and played it. And actually my son enjoys that game quite a bit. So, you know, that made an honorable mention, but it's not even on the top of the list. So I'm kind of wondering where would you even go to find some of these games, you know?
IndependentGamingFestival.com.
IndependentGamingFestivalStore.com. I don't know.
Whatever.
Where's My Heart also made an honorable mention for the Seamus McNally Grand Prize.
Well, we all covet the Seamus McNally prize winners. Wherever you see that symbol, you know it's a good game.
This is like a stamp of approval.
It's just a
big picture of Seamus McNally
screaming.
Seamus McNally was a game designer, so
sounds like, you know, I don't even know, like a redneck.
Let's see.
Dumb. Don't even want to talk about that guy.
DX Ball. Oh. DX Ball, freeware game released on the PC in 1996. So basically, he was a big part of the shareware and freeware rush of the late 90s. DX Ball.
Whatever.
All right.
Seamus McNally. Cletus Diokel.
Now, talking about awards going to games you never heard of, here is the Game Developers Choice Awards announced their Game of the Year. And their Game of the Year for 2011, no surprise, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. So now we've gone kind of the opposite way, is the big budget, massive release. Everybody's heard of this game. This game still, I don't think this game's had a price drop yet. This is still huge. And traded in used copies still fly out the door when people trade them in here.
I don't know. I never got into Elder Scrolls, and I just didn't like the view, I guess. Like, I don't
you don't like first-person multiplayer?
No, I don't.
I played Elder Scrolls 3 Arena on the PC, which was kind of like a first-person shooter. Kind of felt like Heretic or Hexen, one of those type games. And then I also had one, I forget what the name of, Shadow Gate, maybe? But it was an Elder Scrolls game on the N-Gage. I had it on the N-Gage, and it was the first-person perspective and everything. But, I mean, the problem with these games, I also had Oblivion. No, was it Oblivion? What was 3? Was that 3? Oblivion?
Morrowind?
No, Morrowind was 4, right?
No.
3 was Morrowind, 4 was Oblivion?
Yes.
Okay, so Morrowind. I had a copy of Morrowind, but it was so full of bugs on the Xbox. I kept, getting stuck in walls. Or I'd be, out in the forest, and an animal would appear and the game would lock up. The massive problems with that game.
You lose.
But the problem I always had with those games is that it follows that basic formula where your character starts out, you've got armor, you've got these great weapons, whatever, and then your first 6 missions are, hey, there are rats in the warehouse. Go clear out the rats. And then you go in to fight the rats, and you end up, losing half your health fighting rats, trying to clear them out of the room. It was just the dumbest. I always hate how they do that level up process. If I've got kick-ass weapons and awesome armor, I've probably been doing this for a while. You know, I need to start...
No, first day. You got the Royal Beginner's Pack, and that's what they have.
So. My mom got me these clothes for my birthday, so now I guess I'll go adventuring. You know, I mean, it's just... So that's one of the problems. I don't know if they've changed that with Skyrim. Maybe that's gotten better, but that's always kind of the problem I have with those games. So
I just don't like the view. I don't like the way it looks.
You'd rather have an over-the-shoulder, third-person
or overhead view? Or something. The first-person RPG experience is kind of weird to me.
Yeah, that doesn't always work. All right, BioShock Infinite has announced their second heavy hitter. Now, before they had released the information about one of the heavy hitter characters, and it was just, some guy the handyman, I think he was called, and, nobody really cared, whatever. This time around, though, BioShock Infinite, their second heavy hitter, is George Washington with a minigun. Now, some of you wondering, what is a minigun? That's what Arnold had in Terminator 2, in that big scene at the end where he had the giant spinning gun that was shooting down the helicopters and all the police cars and whatnot. So if you want to see this awesome, awesome artwork of George Washington with this giant kick-ass gun, then make sure you look up BioShock Infinite's Heavy Hitters. These are characters that will be in the game that you'll run across at some point that you'll have to battle with. So it's going to be a little funky, but I'm looking forward to playing that game. So. Alright, and finally, our last piece of news, there's a new Angry Birds game coming. Now, I like the Angry Birds games in general. I mean, they're fun little physics, time waster, cute little games. This one, though, is Angry Birds in Space. And in order to announce the launch, they actually had a NASA astronaut at the International Space Station set up a display to show you what it would look like trying to play Angry Birds in space. So he actually had a green balloon, and he drew the pig face on it, and he set it up at one part of the space station, and then he flew across to the other side where he had a catapult, and he put a little stuffed Angry Bird on it, and shot him to show you that in zero gravity, it just flies straight. There's no arc. So what the new Angry Birds Space will be introducing is there will be different planetary objects on the screen that have their own gravity fields. So when you shoot, you'll go straight until you hit these gravity warping fields, and then your guy will be flipping around, and when you hit things, they fall over, and they can hit the different gravity fields, and all this funky stuff can happen. So physics just got a whole lot more difficult, and Angry Birds are going to space. And I wonder how much they paid to have NASA have this guy on the International Space Station do their commercial.
You got to do a pretty good kickback, I'm sure, to waste their time like that. I'm sure they're doing stuff.
But, the guy who was doing it looked like he was having a good time. I mean, he's 50-some-year-old astronaut, doesn't get asked to do a lot of fun stuff like that, so he was having a good time.
He's in space.
Also,
not much to do.
Rovio Games said that they would like to have Angry Birds Space on every screen possible. They, of course, are working on Android, iPhone, PC, and Mac. They already have Nintendo DS kits in development, so the Angry Birds are going to be showing up on the DS or 3DS. They haven't really clarified which one that's heading to. And then on top of that, they want it to come to Vita, but they said that's kind of in Sony's hands right now, and it's going to be up to Sony whether or not Angry Birds actually appears on the Vita. Now, the Vita has a touchscreen, so it'll be perfect for it if, it works out. I don't know why it wouldn't, but I guess there's the possibility that there's something hanging it up right now. So.
Money.
You think so?
Somebody needs a paycheck.
Like, they go, you just paid NASA to have an astronaut on the International Space Station do your video? You're going to have to pay us a lot more. Maybe. Maybe that's what they've said. I don't know. But
maybe they're working on their own knockoff version of Angry Birds, and they're like, I don't know if we want to.
It's
angry.
They've got
cats.
They've got happy dogs. Happy dogs dropping bones on cats.
Why not? That makes sense.
It makes as much sense as birds dropping eggs on pigs. I mean, why not? So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for the news. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, What's-His-Face over here is going to talk about some of the upcoming game releases.
Word.
Wait.
For life.
Oh. Hey guys, Dirt here. Don't forget to check out the news desk every Saturday on the Pop Culture Network. We're going to be talking about this week's releases of toys. If you want to know all the toy news of everything that's going on, that's ever been worthwhile, that's ever worth a penny of your hard-earned money, you're going to check out the news desk, popculturenetwork.com. Every Saturday, make sure you check it out. Go hang out with your real friend, but instead you're stuck with me doing this show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Video Game Losers Show here on the Pop Culture Network. And what do we got now?
We're going to talk about this week's video game releases. This being the second week of March.
Ooh.
So, get ready. Here we go.
Okay, let's do it.
Alright, so it's a pretty good week. We got a lot of major releases coming out. Up first, we have Birds of Steel on a PS3 to 360. This is a $40 release, major release, and it is basically a flight simulator war game set in like World War II. It's going to feature over 100 real life dogfights from history that they apparently somehow got footage of or decided they knew what really happened. So you can play those. And like I said, it's going to be based off the World War II dogfights and those type of planes. Now, these are very popular games, and they've been done millions of times. So don't expect anything new here. And it's not even a full budget release game. It's only $40 instead of the standard $60. But if you do enjoy those type of games, this would be a good way to get yet another title in your library.
There you go.
Up next, we have a game called Shoot Mini Robots. It is on the 360 and PS3. And it is basically another Metal Slug style game.
Oh.
Shooting robots.
All right. Sounds good.
You know, nothing special there. Just some guys, two guys just sitting around shooting robots Metal Slug style.
And what more do you want?
Yeah. Up next, we have a game for the PS3 and PC called Warp. And the only thing I can tell you, it is a puzzle-based stealth action game. Now, this game is already on the 360 and is just now finally coming over to the PS3 and PC.
I was going to say, I thought this sounded familiar.
Like it kind of looks like a Little Big Planet style type of game. By now, I'm sure you may know about this title, but if not, check it out. That's all I got to say about that. Up next for the PC and the 360s, we have Defenders of Ardania. And it is a strategy game. Similar to like Heroes, the PC game Heroes, or the like Age of Mythology style games. Just another one of those mythology-based, castle style, turn-based RPGs. Or strategy games. Woo. And for the 3DS, we have the Planet Crashers 3D, which is basically just an anime-style fighting game.
Oh.
Kind of like a Little Big Planet style, big-headed, short-body anime. Looks really terrible.
I'm just thinking that sounds awesome.
No, it doesn't look awesome at all.
What do you mean it doesn't look awesome?
It looks very, like, dated. Boring.
Looks like anime Animal Crossing dudes.
Yeah. Whatever. So, don't expect much out of that game, but there it is. They have it down as an action game, but from the videos I watched, it looks more like a...
This says it's a dungeon crawl.
Whatever. It's boring. Up next, we have for the Vita, Reality Fighters. Basically, it is the game where you take a picture of yourself and put yourself in the game and fight. Similar to what Nintendo did about a year or so ago back.
The Pocket Dojo?
Yeah. It's that game, but it's a little better using better technology with the Vita and the camera. So you're going to be able to take a picture of your ugly mug and do some karate moves and then put yourself in the game and play it. What do you want?
Well, that sounds like exactly what I'd want.
Problem is, it's $40.
That is not what I want.
That is a full release price for the Vita. But it is kind of a fun concept, I guess. I don't know. Alright, and let's see, for the DS, the next game we have is Silverlicious, which is off the Pinkalicious franchise. Just the next game. I know this because I have a daughter.
Yeah, I know. We've got a Pinkalicious book, too. The Pinky Promise, I think, is what it was called.
It's a major release. It's 1995, so this is one of those budget DS games that just the next one in the series.
But it's just a regular DS, not 3D.
Right, yeah, regular DS.
Yeah.
Up next, we have on the PS3 and 360, we have Silent Hill Downpour. So now this is the next game, which is going to feature the Unreal 3 engine used in the game, which gives you the amazing graphics, and it's going to have more of a free roam part to this game instead of trying to stick you on a linear story. So should be interesting.
Yay!
$60 major release title.
God, I hate paying that, but I probably will because I really like Silent Hill games.
Well, this one should be a little different from the others and hopefully a little better.
Better?
Yep, better.
Oh.
Okay, up next for the PS3, we have Tales of Graces F.
What?
Tales of Graces F. Just another role-playing game. One of the Japanese anime-style RPGs for the PS3. Here's another one. $60, major release. next, for the PS3, we have a game called Journey. Now, this is...
Like based off the band?
Just called... No.
My favorite band in the history of the world?
This is probably going to be a download game. I couldn't figure out if it's retail or download, but from the looks of it, it looks like probably just a download. It is like a cross between like Myst meets Tomb Raider. It's basically a action adventure game. So it's got real nice visuals, and there's not much going on with the character itself. Looks like a floating like cloak almost. And you're just going through, exploring areas and solving little puzzles and stuff like that. So kind of interesting, but...
Oh, right. Okay, I have seen that one.
May or may not be your cup of tea, but there it is. Up next, for the PS3 and 360 as another major release, we have FIFA Street. Dropping the number system and restarting it with just FIFA Street.
Oh, see, I thought this was going to be like NFL Street or NBA Street.
It is.
Is that what it is?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Street soccer, but they, of course, with the old Xbox, they had 1, 2, and I don't know if they did 3. So, but anyways, they're dropping the number system and restarting it on this platform. So it'll be the first FIFA Street release on the newer systems.
Wait, is this soccer or football?
Same thing.
Are you sure they're the same?
Food soccer.
Food soccer.
Let's see.
I think I had that at the Japanese restaurant.
And for the Vita, the next title we have is Ridge Racer. Why not?
It wasn't a launch? That's usually a launch title.
Nope.
Wow, they missed the launch.
They had to do a couple of little extra things to make it work, and they did.
Wow.
So,
Ridge Racer!
Real nice. Let's see, we got 3 more. Next one we have for the PS3 is called Yakuza Dead Souls. Now, this is Yakuza meets zombies.
That's a winner right there.
What do you want?
I'm in. Let's play it.
$60 for major release. I guarantee that game will drop soon. I mean, come on. It's just Yakuza wasn't all that amazing to begin with, and
oh, it's part of that series?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was something completely different. Just
yeah. Well, I mean, Yakuza. Whether on 4, this would be, I guess, number 5.
Wow.
So we'll see.
So what's next? Yakuza versus Sharks?
Whatever. Zombies works, I guess. I played on Saints Row 3. They had a little zombie area, and it actually worked out really well. So it might be all right.
Well, yeah, but Saints Row 3 also has a sense of humor that a lot of games don't have. So.
Good point. Up next, for the PC, we have a game called All Zombies Must Die, following the zombie theme here. And it is a action RPG style that looks. It's a downloadable content game. It's like $10, but it looks kind of like an arcade, kind of like what was that game? Gauntlet Legends.
Yeah, this was on the PS3.
Yeah.
And so now it's on the PC. I had this game for a while. It was all right.
Yeah.
Just got really repetitive after a while.
Yeah, but I mean, it's $10. It's not really
right. It's a good multiplayer game. If you got friends to play with, I'm sure this will probably be on like Steam, and you can play online with some friends, do some co-op mode. It's probably good for that.
Yeah. Well, there it is. And finally, the last title, probably the biggest release, is going to be on the Wii for Mario Party 9.
Yee.
There it is, your 9th installment of the Mario Party series on the Wii. Woo!
What's new with this one?
I don't know. I
What
didn't
does
even,
9
I didn't
have that 8
bother.
doesn't have?
I didn't even bother looking because it's always the same game. It's just new mini games. So there it is. Those are your game releases for the second week of March.
Whoa! Did you hear that? It sounded like there was a little kid in the room. Whoa! What happened there?
I don't know, but I'll take care of that situation.
Okay, well, we're taking a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to have some of your questions and comments for the fan corner here on the Video Game Losers Show.
Alright guys, thank you for watching our videos on the Pop Culture Network. We do hope that you will help support us by visiting shoppcn.com, where you'll find all these amazing toys, comic books, DVDs, video games, random geek goodness, all brought to you at an incredibly great price. Every dollar you spend helps contribute to the Pop Culture Network.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Video Game Losers Show with the most exciting duo on TV. Who's not on TV because we're on the internet. Exciting. Although, we might be on TV in the Caribbean. Apparently someone was going to put us on TV down there. So, if you happen to live in the Caribbean somewhere and you see us on TV, let us know. I'd like to hear about it.
And high five the TV. There you go.
Alright. Alright, now it's time for the fan corner. Some of your questions and comments. First up, we have Orko on the message boards. He says, howdy guys, quick question this time. I was wondering, with the Kid Icarus Uprising game, the cards that come with it, are they just Kid Icarus based or do they spread beyond that? I know I probably won't go after these cards unless it gives off a similar feel that I got when collecting trophies in Smash Brothers. Another Smash Brothers reference.
He loves that Smash Brothers.
Well, I don't know anything about the trophies in Smash Brothers. All of the cards will, in fact, be Kid Icarus based. So there you go. You get 3 of them in your game. Someone else gets 3 of them in their game. You battle and trade. Now, Nintendo did come out with confirmation that as of right now, they do not plan on selling any of the cards at retail. If you want the bonus extra cards, you will have to go to Nintendo events, which means people who live in Tokyo, Los Angeles, and New York are going to get plenty of cards, and the rest of us are screwed. So there you go with that. Next up, Golden Vixie gave us this comment saying, first of all, size. Sony needs to light a fire under someone to get Sudoku 2 on the PSN. I love that Sudoku. I don't know if that's really how you pronounce that. Suikoden?
Yes.
Suikoden. To get Suikoden 2 on the PSN. I love that Suikoden 1 is on the PSN, but it's been long since one's released, and now it's time for the second. Sadly, the PSP got a lot of great PS1 games, but because of the 20% new content rule that Sony USA put in place in the beginning of the PSP, prevented them from being brought to the USA. Look at Breath of Fire 3. It got a European release, but not in the US. So basically, we had talked about certain games being re-released and how, you know, they got these makeovers, they got new graphics, new dungeons, whatever. That's how you got the Final Fantasies and stuff. Apparently, Sony USA had a rule that about 20% of the game had to be new. You couldn't just re-release an old game on a UMD and put it out for the PSP, which unfortunately is what people wanted. And there were massive, massive games released in Japan, a bunch that made it to Europe, and they didn't make it here because they didn't have 20% of new content. I don't know which idiot at Sony USA thought that that would be a great rule. What's wrong with the idea of saying, hey, let's resell people the same old game and let them play it again? Because there are a lot of PS1 games I probably would have bought on PSP just for the fact that, oh my gosh, now I can hold it in my hand, you know, Crash Bandicoot and stuff, which eventually did get released on the PlayStation Network, but that took a while for them to get out. They could have released a whole bunch of those early on and made a ton of money, but apparently they don't like money. Apparently they have, like, artistic standards or something. What's wrong with those people?
I don't know. But, you know, she's right. They do need to release part 2. Part 1 and part 2 awesome. 3 blows. 4 was like weird, and 5 was okay. You know, it's just. But 1 and 2 was amazing. They were masterpieces, and that's why they're so expensive right now for original copies.
Were those on PS1?
Yes, PS1. And no one bought them when they came out. They were like a cult. They just came like real popular after. I bought them when they came out. I rented part 1 back in the day, and I was like, oh, this game is awesome. And then part 2 came out, and I went to, you know, Best Buy, and I bought it brand new. And I was like, this game is the most amazing. And it was. And then part 3 came out, and I was like, oh, yeah, on the PS2, part 3, it's going to be in 3D. And it sucked. It was totally different and not as fun.
Oh.
So I don't know. True. Yes, put them on the PlayStation Network, and I'll download it.
That kind of reminds me of like Lunar, Silver Star Story. I never played that game when it originally came out. It was on like the Sega CD, I think, and just never made much of an impact. They released it on PlayStation 1, and they put like an art book and a cloth map and all this kind of bonus stuff. And I remember being at Walmart and seeing the game and going, you know, that looks pretty cool, whatever, I'll buy it. So I ended up buying it and playing it, and apparently it, like, nobody bought it, and now it's like you try to buy it online, it's like $80, you know, something crazy like that.
Oh, more than that, for sure.
To get a copy of that. And it just seems like, why wouldn't you allow a company to just re-release that on a new platform? If you have a new platform and someone wants to re-release the classic game as is, and people want to buy it because they want to experience, why wouldn't you take that money?
Because there is an executive sitting on several cases of the original, selling them on eBay for crazy money.
That's the key to the story I was missing. eBay scalpers are Sony executives.
Why not?
There's the title of our episode, by the way.
Yes.
All right. The King Trig would like to point out that Solid Snake is in Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I had mentioned that he was a character that, sure, why not put him into Super Smash Brothers? Sure, why not? Well, apparently he was. So,
you got told.
Yeah. In fact, I think that was the one I think I even owned. Right? Was that the one on GameCube? Brawl? Well, regardless. Anyway, let's see here. Danny Thanor says, have you guys heard that there would be no more updates for Terraria? That sucks. Like Minecraft, I thought there was so much Terraria could evolve to. Yes, unfortunately, news came out this week. The creator and programmer of Terraria said that the guy who did all his sprites, his artwork, got a job at some other game company. You know, he's going from indie to full-time indie, but at a studio. And so he didn't have anybody do the graphics anymore. And he said that Terraria, when it was originally released, he wasn't ready to release it yet, but somehow the source code got leaked. And so people were, you know, compiling it and getting it. So he goes, well, I better hurry up and put it out there then. So he put it out before he really felt like it was ready, which is why he had done so many updates, bug fixes and whatnot. And now he feels like it's really at a spot where, you know, the game's complete. He is hoping to get out some sort of mod tools so that you can create your own characters or levels or events or whatever and mod the game, for yourself. But as for now, no more official updates or content. It's pretty much done.
That's a shame.
I know. That could have been an empire.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where...
That could have went on for years.
The guy left, to go get somewhere else. Now's the time to hire the team to come in and start working on your download content packs. Because like $5 for a pack with a bunch of new weapons, new monsters, new creatures, and some events. I mean, tsunami. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if there's a tsunami event or Noah's Ark flood, where it just starts raining and the water levels just keep going up and up and up and up and up, and you've got like days where it's just full of water till it drains away. I mean, there's so much stuff you could have done with that game, and it just seems like they missed out.
Yeah, you could have made Bible games out of it. Thanks. Noah's Ark, really?
Wait, you didn't play the Bible games on Nintendo? Jeez. On the NES? Those were the Sunday Fun Day? That was like the best game ever. Oh, man. And the Noah's Ark trivia game? That was great. How can you not know? All right. Tony Beers. I'm not sure if it's Beers or Bears, because you got like 5 E's in your name, Tony. But Tony says... Stan Lee is in the Amazing Spider-Man movie as Stan the Librarian, so possibly he might be that character in the game. So they probably had a 3D model of him for whatever role he has in the movie that they recreate for the game, and then they're just saying, hey, why not? We'll let you play as that guy. So maybe he can jog at a nice pace and jump over objects, and then maybe he'll throw a book at him. And that'll be Stan the Librarian.
Okay.
So there you go. All right, and final piece for tonight. Kulta Muna Classic asks, when is the nude desk coming back?
What does that even mean?
One time when I did the news desk, I did it from my bathtub during my bubble bath. You guys were like, I don't know what you were doing. You were distracted. Pixel Dan was on vacation or something, so I just did it from my bathtub. You don't remember that at all?
Kind of, vaguely.
Vaguely? Yeah, well, the people want it back. See, right here, people want me naked.
You get what you asked for.
All right. Maybe we'll put that on our alternate channel.
That is a downloadable content pack for $4 or $5.
Pay $5 if you want to see me without my shirt on.
Or $10 if you don't want to see.
Or $10 if I keep my shirt on. We'll just do the show twice. And yeah, it depends on which one gets more money. Shirt on, shirt off. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. Although the thing is, though, if I take my shirt off, it still looks like I'm wearing a black sweater.
Gross.
Yeah. All right, folks. That's going to do it for the Video Game Losers this week. Don't forget, if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can do it by calling area code 217-953-4025. You can send us emails at killin@popculturenetwork.com or dirt@popculturenetwork.com. Don't forget to come to VGLosers.com for more awesome video game content, part of the Pop Culture Network. You can find us at popculturenetwork.com to find all the great stuff about comic books, toys, video games, movies, and whatnots. You can also join the forums, hang out with other cool, awesome, neat people just like yourself who like talking about video games. And don't forget to check out shoppcn.com, which is the Pop Culture Network store, where all this great stuff you see piled up behind us, we actually sell it.
What?
And if you watch the It Figures podcast, the toy and action figure podcast, also here on the Pop Culture Network, the camera faces the other direction, and you can see more great stuff that you can buy at shoppcn.com. And there's even other parts of the store, like back over there, that never really appear on camera anymore. And those parts of the store have even more stuff you can buy at shoppcn.com. So there you go. Great, awesome, fantastic products you can buy. Or if you want to, you can just PayPal me $20. We'll call it even. I'm fine with that.
That's a way better deal.
Much better for me, anyway.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.